Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Extinction Protocols. Extinction Protocols, preparing for transition. Yes, my brothers and sisters, we have entered into end times, and the need to be more sensitive to the spirit of Yahushua is greater than ever before, for we are approaching times that will finalize what we will experience in these earthen vessels before the return of our Mashiach, our Messiah Yahushua. For all intents and purposes, many world leaders and scientists have dubbed man on a collision course to extinction if there was not any righteous intervention. Seek out what is happening before us, my brothers and sisters, and be mindful of the signs of the times as they relate to end time prophecies. Today is May 27, 2014. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah. And this series of messages, Extinction Protocols, are represent what I am compelled to present to you, who I consider my brothers and sisters, who will be among the true olive trees, who are among the true olive trees and golden lampstands, true Yasharal, and a multitude of every nation, kindreds, and tongue, who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father Yahuwah and accept Yahushua as Mashiach. For it is in Yahushua that we are made one, and we are made one under the banner of Yasharal. Pray and seek to discern what is about to emerge regarding the 144,000 in multitude. Pray and establish a ready mind to identify true olive trees, we who represent true Hebrews, true Abari or Abri. Pray that we're able to identify those who truly seek to do the will of the Almighty Father and accept Yahushua as Mashiach. With that said, my brothers, let me read the definition of protocol as I do with the opener of each of these series, with most of them anyway. Allow me to define that word. It is a system of rules that explain the correct conduct and procedures to be followed in formal situations. This new series will prove to reflect necessary protocols that relates to man's extinction. Yes, extinction. Or it could be worded transition. Either way, my brothers and sisters, from a natural and practical perspective, if there were no solutions in sight, which there aren't from a practical perspective or a natural perspective, man is on a collision course for extinction. But we who are awake are aware that the Almighty Father has a plan that was created since the dawn of the ages, a plan that is unfolding before our very eyes. My brothers and sisters, let's consider the following scriptures as we move into this segment. Again, it is entitled Reality and Dependence. It is entitled Reality and Dependence. Matthew 22:29 said, and Yahushua answered said to them, you go astray, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of Elohim. Matthew 24:4 and 5 read, and Yahushua said to them, take heed that no one leads you astray, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and they shall lead many astray. Matthew 24:11 reads, and many false prophets shall rise up and lead many astray. Matthew 24:24 says, and false messiahs and false prophets shall arise, and they shall show great signs and wonders, so as to lead astray, if possible, even the chosen ones. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, do not be led astray. Evil company corrupts good habits. Please make note of that, my brothers and sisters, for if you are one who participate in a fellowship, a camp, or group, and allow yourself to be in the presence of continuing compromising teachings, beliefs, practices, and compromising spirits, be mindful of 1 Corinthians 15:33, which says, do not be led astray, for evil corrupts good habits. Evil company corrupts good habits. Anyone who is outside of the truth and righteousness of the Most High has stepped or reflects evil company. Evil by the action, my brothers and sisters. The time of being part of compromising teachings and practice will come to an end as we are perfected, refined, and brought into unity to fulfill what is written. 2 Timothy 3:13 says, but evil men and impostors shall go on to the worst, leading astray and being led astray. James 1:16 reads, James 1:16 reads, "Do not go astray, my beloved brothers." And 2 John 1:7 says, "Because many who are leading astray went out into the world who do not confess Yahushua Messiah as coming in the flesh. This one is he who is leading astray and the anti-Messiah." Anyone who is against Yahushua HaMashiach, our Messiah, is anti-Messiah. My brothers and sisters, there is much information regarding being obedient and focused on the Spirit of our living Savior versus being overtaken by wicked and evil doers and being led astray. Many of us believe we have reached the last days. Yes, we believe end times are here. There is no secret that man is on a collision course to extinction as it relates to life as we know it within these earthen vessels. It is projected that it could happen possibly within this century, if not sooner than later, than the latter part of the century. Whether we realize that we are facing extinction or not, my brothers and sisters, the facts show that there must and will be a change as we know it. The Most High Father, as I mentioned, has a plan for us. And that plan is approaching quicker than most of us realize. With these words said, I have witnessed countless people say, "I trust no man. I'm not going to trust any man. I don't put my trust in man. I'm not going to trust anybody." And words such as these. But believe it or not, anyone speaking these words of any likeness of such is plainly lying. Yes, they're lying to you. They're lying to us. You see, every person on this planet places some type of trust in another every day. Whether it be a trust that the water company is doing what they're supposed to do to deliver water to our place of living, or the electricity or gas will come and function, whether it's trust on transportation, whether it's trust that people on the highway are not going to run over us or kill us, whether it's trust that our body functions will function well among others or on the job. Yes, there's a degree of dependence in many ways, more ways than we realize. And believe it or not, my brothers and sisters, there are those of us who have grown to depend on one whom we think may be strong in spirit, in the spirit of Yahushua. Some rightfully so, and some erroneously. So you see, my brothers and sisters, the spirit of Yahushua has worked and continue and will and is working in us one towards another. And it is the spirit of Yahushua that when he is strong in us, yes, there may be one another who's dependent on the Yahushua, the spirit of Yahushua within us one towards another. There's a degree of dependence, but people speak so strongly, "I don't depend on anyone." But yet in their actions, it proves that they're lying. Whether it's on a grand scale or a minor scale, we place our trust into the hands every day of someone. Beware of those who will say words like these, like, "Well, you know what I mean," or argue that there's a difference regarding trusting another. Or, who knows, you may even agree with them. Whether you agree or disagree, there is the reality of dependence among us, one towards another. End-time prophecies come with demands and orders. They come with expectations of scriptural fulfillment like never before witnessed. As conditions begin to worsen, we will witness all those who claim that they do not depend on man will prove to have lied to you and us. Dependence on man will come with a degree of reality. The reality that we are depending on either the spirit of Yahushua working in us one towards another, or we will face the reality of one being led by the wicked one. In due season, proof will come. But on the surface, whether it is Yahushua or the spirit of the wicked one, on the surface, it will and can be interpreted as one coming dependent on one person or another because of their leadership abilities that we see, whether that leadership is wickedness or righteousness. Be alert, my brothers. Be prepared to discern the difference. It is those who pursue righteousness and able to discern with precision that will be able to identify the source of righteous orders and command. It will be those who are able to discern that we will come to depend on. And it will not be them alone. It would be the Spirit of the Most High, the Spirit of righteousness working within them. Do you not think that Noah's family came to depend on him, but it was Yahuwah working in him? Or Yahshua came to depend on Moshe, but it was Moses that was being used by the Most High, Yahuwah? And any other leaders that exist, do you not think people became dependent on them to a degree? But I say to you, it was the righteousness of the Most High working in them. So let us not get so high-minded and just say, I'm not dependent on anyone, when the truth of the matter is, there are certain dependencies that we have. My brothers and sisters, dependence have its place, and that is growing to depend on the Most High Father through His set-apart Spirit set in Yahushua's name. By seeking to discern and understand, as we discover the chosen leaders sent by the Spirit of Yahushua, we will come to acknowledge a dependence on them as they are led by the Spirit of righteousness from the Most High. Yes, the reality is, especially as end times become fierce, is we will demonstrate a certain dependency on one another. We will come to be dependent on the leaders that we believe are chosen by the Spirit of the Most High. And we will continue to pray and seek and grow as we are refined in discernment and understanding. The criteria that we expect will prove to be somewhat different than what is truly right for many of us. The 144,000 and multitude will be refined, structured, disciplined, and brought into unity and represent the fulfillment of what has been written. The reality before us will prove by our actions that we will grow in dependence on one another more than we have described, more than we are able to admit or willing to admit. But in due season, we will recognize this body of one have many members. And just as our brain is dependent on the arms and legs in our mouths to respond, or our arms and legs are dependent on the brain for sending nerves and controls to our muscles to respond and function, so will we grow to depend on one another as the Spirit of righteousness works in us one towards another. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. In due season, these words will be proven, if not already, to have life in them, provided by the Most High. My brothers and sisters, I pray that anything that comes out of my mouth, if you're able to confirm it as righteousness, and it is confirmed by the Spirit of Yahushua, that Yahushua gets all credit, and that it is He, our Messiah, our living Savior, that is lifted up, and that is He that will draw us together and draw all men who seek to do the will of the Father and present us before the Almighty Yahuwah. I pray each of us will begin to realize the need to discern orders and commands that are going forward as we are prepared for that final exodus. Let us learn how to manage dependence on one another as we are led by our Messiah. Let us face the realities of what's truly unfolding before us. I pray that each of us are able to endure to the very end, which, my brothers and sisters, I cannot stress enough, is not far away. Until next time, my family, you who seek to do the will of the Father and accept Yahushua as Messiah, my brothers, my sisters, my family, until next time, continue to stay tuned as Extinction Protocols continues. Shalom, shalom, shalom.